See, while inserting the data by using normal insert, it is taking 51 seconds. Okay. Now I'm going to use some hint. Simply slash star plus append. So nothing we have here. Simply if we use this hint, 17 seconds. Append hint. So by using append hint, the same insert statement. So which is taken like a which is taken 51 seconds. Now it got reduced to 51 seconds to the 17 seconds. 17 into 3. So almost like a 60% of the time has been reduced. So how it is reducing? What is happening if you are applying of append hint? If you are applying of append hint, what is happening here? See, while inserting the data into the table, okay, so while inserting the data into table, if it is a fresh insert, it insert that data like this. Okay. See, for some reason you deleted some data. You deleted things like I say, you deleted this allen information. Okay. So see, Oracle, if you are applying the delete command on table, Oracle is not going to release the memory. Oracle is not going to release the memory. It clears that data. So the memory, occupied memory will persist same in the database. It called like as a watermark memory. So it's maintained like a watermark space. It is not releasing this space. It's simply maintaining as a watermark space. Now this row has been, this address has been used by someone exist member has been used this address. So if you are getting like a now, the person is not available here. Now that row ID is empty. The house is empty now. Data of a house is empty now. If you are any newcomer is coming, or if you are inserting new data into the table, first Oracle need to use this existing unused memory. So which is used in unused. Used in unused. Got it? So used in unused. Now this row is empty. This rack is empty now. So while inserting the data into the table, instead of inserting the data into 16th place, now the data need to be inserted here. First, Oracle sends the data from house 1, house 2, record 1, record 2, record 3. So if this memory is in watermark, then I can fill this memory. Right? So for every insertion, it verifies, is there any free watermark space to insert new information into existing address IDs. Right? So for it takes some time for that. It takes some time for that. See, to avoid verifying of watermark space for every insertion, right? So you are simply doing like insert into select star from EMP, correct? What Oracle will do, it perform implicit cursor activity here. Implicit cursor, everybody know, right? It declare the cursor and perform the record by record insertion. Right? See here, if you are deleting the data, it is not releasing that space. So it sit into watermark space, right? So if you are deleting one more record, so it maintains the data and the watermarks for this also, right? See, if you are inserting any data, first you are inserting the data at the 16th place. You are inserting the data at 16th place. Okay, so you are inserting the data at a 16th place, right? So for looking, you will see this record at the end of the place, but this physical address is located at a line number 3. Clear? So the data looks like for you at end of the table, but the data is going to stored at a existing memory, which is watermark space. Clear for this? Right? We can bypass this operation. Baba, you don't want to take any risk. So I'm able to bear the memory cost. So you no need to check watermark space to verify for every insertion. You no need to verify here. So you can occupy new memory. I can make the cost for that. I can make the payment for the memory. You no need to worry. So I need improvement. I need productivity. I'm not bothering about cost. So I need improvement. In such case, use the append hint. The append hint works only on insertion. Agree? This is one performance hint. Clear? So if you are applying simply append hint, it won't verify to check to fill the watermark space. It inserts directly into line number 16. It occupy, so row 16. So if you're inserting any data, row 17, it makes some ID for that and it creates the data into this. Clear? Now, see, we have some other hints. See, while inserting the data into the table, it takes some time. See, so now we use this, right? See, if you are creating the table for any select statement instead of insert, if you have a very complexity of logics need to be run on select statement and need to push the data into some other table. Think like I say, we have very complexity of logic. See, think this is also one type of logic only. So maximum number and you are adding row number for a year, right? This is also one type of logic. Think like I say, we have very complexity of logics. So by joining of multiple tables and you are appending the data with 6, 7 tables and pushing the data into some reporting table, something like. Okay. So in case if you are doing truncate and insert in any of the table, think like I say in your PLSQL procedure or function or package, truncate table. So now I'm inserting the data in BK. So I'm not using main table. Okay. So truncate EMP underscore BKP. So something like if you are using truncate table EMP underscore BKP. Okay. See, instead of doing the truncate and insert, see, I can perform DDL operation like instead of insert, I can create the table. So I can create the table. I can drop the existing table and create with the table. So simply I can drop this table and I can create the table for that particular select statement. It improve the performance. Create table EMP underscore BKP as. So for this, we have to provide alias name. So what did I say? So must name this expression with column alias. So where we have to provide the column alias here. I did. Simply use the existing name only. So if you observe here, year must be between 4713 and 9999 year. So till 10,000 year, 1,000 year were. So till 1,000 year you can use. So you can use my before Christ, after Christ, Christ Purvamo Christ. So current generation, right? So we have in this between range we have to provide. If you are doing like here, we are going like a 9 lakh days back, meaning like more than 4,000 years you are going back. So for that reason, it is giving the error. So now I'm going to use simply 68 minus this. How much time it took? So while inserting the data from EMP to EMP underscore BKP, it took, after applying append also, it took 17 seconds. where you are doing temporary table. So this called like a interim tables. See, what are the logics you are using here? It's not permanent. This is not permanent table, right? So while inserting the data with the 5 6 table by using 5 6 tables into some final table, right? So you are going to use. So instead of writing complexity of logic in one query, separate that complexity into two parts. Understand, right? So if you have very complexity of logics, separate that into two complexity of logics. Instead of making in one query, you can separate that into two different logics and append them. So the DDL is improving better than insert. Agree? Create table is improving better than insert. Correct? See, in this, how we have insert for first insert, normal insert, append insert, right? The same way, see, think like this is not main table. This is not main table. So 1000% we are not going to truncate, sir. We are not going to drop the main tables. Original tables we are not going to drop at any point of time. Where we are doing things on temporary purpose. To insert into main table, we'll use some interim tables. Interim tables. So if you want to travel from SR Nagar to the Kukutpalli, see, you will do some activities in the middle, taking tiffin, taking water, taking cool drink, whatever the activities you are doing, it's not permanent. These activities you can do from any of the shop. The same way, to achieve the final goal, what are the things you are performing inside? That activities you can do with the DTL because it's a interim solutions, interim activities you are doing. Interim activities you are doing. See, for that, see, if you are running anything in the Oracle, if you are running anything in the Oracle maintains the log about that. See, if you see in so select star from user underscore tables, where table underscore name, emp underscore bkp. See here, we will see some of the column like a logging. Logging as a S. See what it indicates while executing anything on this table by using this table, Oracle will maintain the log. The user is selected the data, the user is inserted the data, the user performed the DDL statement. So at this particular time. So Oracle will maintain the data, log information about that table. See, this is not permanent table. See, it's an interim table, right? So for one-time activity you are doing, or this is not main table. If something happen on this table, so I'm least bothering about this information. So if something happen, if system crash, so if you are maintaining like account table, transaction current, so balance information you are maintaining in bank, think like. So in the bank table, the main table is account master thing. Okay. So while inserting the data into account master, in middle you got some memory issue or something else. So the system has been crashed. If you don't have the log, if you don't have the log, you cannot able to recover the data. If you have the log, you can able to recover. See, every time I will say some example, Gatoj Gacha movie. So Gatoj Gacha taken some help from some girl. So in next in next gen, uh, sh- so she's in trouble at the time like Gatoj Gacha has came from what we can say from upside to downside, and he helped to her. So how he helped? See, the rowdies has killed her. The rowdies has killed her. Okay, so rowdies kill చేసినప్పుడు see he have the power to give the breath again, but it's not as per the rule of God, right? So what he did, it's called like a Srishtiki Viruddham అన్నట్టు మాట్లాడు. So it's not acceptable by the Brahma. So for that reason, what he did, he, he decided to take the time black globe entire activities, what are the activities has performed to kill her, to kill her. So after killing, he got the news after 1 hour. Think like as a 1 hour. In this 1 hour, he decided to take the globe back because he have the log. Chitragupta has maintained who killed, how he killed, right? So Chitragupta is maintaining every human things on his book, right? The same way, if you are doing any activity on the table, so whatever the table is having logging as S, every table information we are going to see in a database. Database in the sense admin have the log file. So we are not authorized persons to see the log information. So a database administrator, DBA person can able to view log files. Agree? So the same activity. See, if it is not important for me, right? See, I can say simply, don't use log for this, simply. No logging. So I'm creating like a EMP underscore BKP1. So earlier I created EMP underscore BKP. Now I'm going to create the table with, okay. So just I'm mentioning some hint, no logging. See now how it is improving. So it is taking very less than 5 seconds. Agree? See here what is happening. Oracle is not maintaining the log for this. Oracle is not maintaining the log for this. So for that reason, it improve the performance. This hint we are going to use. On a DDL statements. Okay, see here, logging as no. Because of this, you will see some improvement. Right? See, think like I say, now you can truncate the table and insert the data. You will see some more improvement. So truncate table EMP underscore BKP1. Okay. So now I'm going to insert simply this information. Insert into EMP underscore BKP. This is logging table. This is logging table. Logging enabled table. Enabled table. Here. Now I'm inserting the data. It normal insert only. I'm not doing anything. So it took 1 minute. Sorry, 1 second, 89 seconds. Now I'm inserting this data. Logging is not enabled. Okay, so EMP underscore BKP1. We have very less time, so less data. So we are not seeing much difference here. If you have crores of data, we will see the differences. We will see the difference while inserting the data. Huge. Now I inserted this again, and I'm going to insert back 2.975, right? So here I'm committing this. Okay, now I'm inserting this data again. So 2.84, right? Now you are able to save only fraction of seconds here, right? See, if you are applying now append, we cannot able to use no logging on DMLs. The no logging works on only DDL. Okay, so now I'm applying no logging and as well as the append hint. 2.9. So here also I'm inserting this. Right? So it improves the performance. No logging. So we'll use this hint on a DDL statement. How it is improving? So Oracle will maintain the log writing for every insertion, updation, deletion, DDL, right? So we don't want to maintain the log information for which is not important table, which is not original table. In such case, you can try to use int, right? See, while using this, okay, so let me pull some information on this table. So select star from emp underscore bkp. We are selecting this data, right? Where employee number equals to. So now I am trying to select the data with one of the employee number. See, it is taking 1.432 milliseconds, right? Now, create index IND employee number 123 on emp underscore bkp of employee number, right? See, now I'm creating the index, right? So to create index, it took 5.4 milliseconds, right? See, now I'm dropping this index. Now I'm dropping this index. And I'm using no logging hint. No logging. You are seeing that some less 4.5 to 4.1. Correct? See, this is the advantage of no logging hint. So you can use that table creation. You can use that index creation. Clear? This is about this. Okay, now I'm trying to use data. So less than 0 milliseconds. Correct? Right? So by using this interim table, you are referring this table in some other query. In such case, create index and use this in some other table, right? And you can fetch the data very fastly, and you can drop the index if you don't want. Okay, and see, you have index. We have index now. Okay, so let me pull with employee name. Okay, so e name equals to what? Okay, so here check explain plan here. See, it is going for full scan. So I'm fetching only word information. We have 14 names, 14 employee names. I'm fetching only one employee name, word, right? It is going for a full scan. Simply use explain plan, query like a explain plan for this, for a statement. If you do now, the plan has been explained. Plan has been explained. See, if you want to see that plan, we have to use, okay, so dbms underscore xplan dot display. So this is the place you will see what is happening inside if you are running that statement, right? See, you are selecting the table Which table you are selecting? EMP underscore BKP. The table access is going for full. If you are selecting one employee name also, it is taking all employee information. So how many records we have in your table? It is verifying all the data, right? See, to avoid this full scanning mechanism, so usually we have to avoid this full table scanning mechanism, right? So now I'm going to drop this index and I'm going to mention this index on a e-name column. I have explained I took the explain plan for this same query. Now I am seeing this again. Now see here, now it is going for range scan. Right? See, in case if it is not taking index is present, still it is not going for full scan. So range scan. In such case, we have to use hint. We have to give hint. So slash star plus. So index emp underscore bkp. Okay. So table name of index name. So what is the index name we mentioned that we have to mention here? So now we have to see index plan, right? So it is going for table access by index row ID. See, sometimes, in case if you are using like 3-4 tables here, right? All giant columns is having index, right? See, think like I say, we have small table and a bigger table. Oracle is taking index with smaller table and it is not considering the bigger table. In such case, we have to give hint to the compiler. However, don't want to take this particular table index. You have to consider this table is having the index. Use this index to run this particular statement. Right? So we can forcefully give. See, if we have 3-4 VIPs, man, to whom I want to provide priority. If you have 3-4 prime minister with other countries has came into India, now to whom I want to provide priority? US, England, Pakistan, right? To whom we want to provide? That we have to decide. First, I want to pick from US, then I'm going to give England, then I'm going to give least priority for Pakistan. Agree? Right? So for that, the same thing we can do here. So if you have multiple indexes on this query, so if you are using like 3-4 tables or n number of tables in the query, while taking the index scanning, so whatever the index you are expecting to perform that activity, it is not doing by the Oracle. Take that particular index name and mention the index hint like this. So slash star plus, if you are seeing like a slash star plus is called like a hint. If you are seeing slash star, it's a comment. No use of this line. If you are not mentioning this plus, it's not like a hint here. It's a comment. There, the line has been disabled here. See, till this place, it has been shaded out. Right? It has been shaded. Clear? So, hints we are going to mention like this. This is index hint. Agree? Now what other things we have? Okay. See, we have some other hint. So we have some other hint. See, parallel. See, slash star parallel table name. Which table I have to take as a parallel, right? So remove this and see the explain plan. It is going with the index scanning, right? So here you are not seeing cardinality and cost. So I'm removing this. Simply we have some shortcut in SQL developer. So F10. Okay. See, it is showing like this. Table access is going for this. Now, if I use parallel hint, now I'm saying to the Oracle. So while executing the any statement by using emp underscore vkp table, so take the three sessions. Take the three sessions. So I provided v dollar session, v dollar SQL area, some query in your existing classes, right? So run some statement, run some statement. Now see the explain plan for this. The cost has been changed. So 3713. So for executing things 0.67, 0.67. So now I'm removing this hint 0.07. We are not seeing difference here. So we are not seeing difference here. So if you want to see the difference, so that must be a professional database, meaning like enterprise edition. It's a free edition, right? So we cannot see like all the features. The parallelism, what we can say, we have some other feature. Now we are seeing a lot of other things like partitions, table partitions, right? See, you did lot of things here. So you did the index creation, all those things, right? See, think like as a transaction table. So if you are taking any SBI or Axis Bank or ICICI Bank, right? We'll see for every day they got like a minimum 2 crores to 5 crores of transaction on every day. They are inserting high volume of data in the transaction table. Clear? They maintained 1 year of data in the table. 1 year of data. Think 365 days into 5 crores. Average 3 crores. We are maintaining this data into single table. Single table. So maybe you will use indexes on transaction date column, on account number column, on customer ID column. Agree? Right? While fetching the data, so select star from, there and let's go tables. Okay, think like I said, we have transaction date column here. Okay, and this is not correct. So think like we have one more table. So that's been expired. So we have this table. Think. Okay. See, usually if you have this type of table, we'll create the transaction. So customer ID, account number, and transaction date. So we are going to create the indexes. We are going to create indexes. There is transaction date and transaction date and time. Okay. See, if you create index on this particular column, it perform the range scan. You cannot able to create unique index on this column. Will you able to create unique index on this column? What type of index we will create on this transaction date column? Normal index only, B-tree. So we'll create unique index, which we need to maintain unique values on the table. So if you want to maintain that, so on first column, you will maintain transaction number. Transaction number is unique for every transaction. Transaction ID is unique. Agree? Correct? See, now an account number, customer ID, one account holder may do multiple transactions. One customer may do multiple transactions. You cannot able to maintain unique index for these calls. Right? Till now clear? Now, if you are doing index on, if you are doing an index on a transaction date, right? See how the data is storing at backend. 1st January information gets sorted in first place, 2nd January, 3rd January, it maintains in order. Correct? This is what is happening at the backend. If you are inserting the data into the table, it create index ID for the backend and sorted the data in ascending order. Till now clear? Right? See, out of 365 days, we are not going to use, think like I say, you maintained, 1st January to till this place. Okay, you are not going to use last 6 months back data. You are going to use current month or previous month. Only 2 months of information we are going to use. Right? See, here, see in Kuwait, okay. See, while storing the data into the table, instead of keeping all the data in one rack, separate the data, month and year wise. So why I am saying month and year? So if you are in January, you are not getting like, see, if you are in 2025 January, you are not seeing like all the months in 2025, right? So you have to take 5 months of information, 2024. So for that reason, I am saying we have to maintain month and year wise different track. Maintain. So how we have gender, male we are keeping in some place, female we are keeping in some place. So we are separating the gender wise, right? The same way, separate month and year wise the data and store that in a different tracks for each and every month. Instead of keeping all the data in one place, separate the data into different room or rack. So that rack we are calling as a partition, right? So the whole house has partition, hall, bedroom 1, bedroom 2, kitchen. So how you are segregating, partitioning, how you are partitioning. The same way, we'll partition our main table into different ranks by creating a partition table. Instead of normal table, we'll create partition table. The partitions can be happen in 3 ways. The partition tables we can create in 3 ways. Value-based partition, meaning like a caste-wise, caste 1 separate, caste 2 separate, caste 3 separate. If you want to maintain, we'll use value-based partition or list partition, right? And we have one more partition, range partition, 1 to 5 is this stack. So 6 to 10, this stack. So above 10, this rack. So if you want to maintain range partitions, we are going to use range partitions. Agree? Till now clear everyone? This is also performance improvement only. That's what I am going to explain here. Okay. And we have hash partitions. Hash. See, while inserting the data into the table, so if it is a secure, we are hashing the decoding that into star, 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 something like, right? So it maintains some hash value for every insertion. It creates hash partitions by the Oracle itself. If you are saying like create hash ID for based on some column, it create hash partitions by the Oracle. Right? So majorly we'll go with a list partition and a range partition. Right? So list partition in what type of scenario we use the list partition? Okay, I work for some bank. I work for some bank like Axis Bank. I work for Axis Bank. So in Axis Bank, we maintain some project that works for the saving department. So meaning like online banking, which you are using in banking. Then we have credit card, debit card. Then we have auto loan, personal loan. We have 5 sources. We are clubbing these 5 sources and capturing that information, 5 different sources, and storing into our database. While storing the data into the single rack. So you get performance issues because from credit card also you will get crores of transaction, debit card, and we have a loan, right? If you are keeping all the data in one rack, it is very difficult to pick, right? If you want to pick only the credit card transactions, so I can pick the data from a credit card partition, right? If you are mentioning type of account equal to credit card, it picks the data from credit card account. Okay. If you mention type of account in credit card, comma, auto loan. See, we have 5 sources. 5 sources. While picking the data, the system is not going to consider the other 3 sources, which is not selected by you. We have 5 racks. If you mention card type in credit card and auto loan, it picks from the data only from these 2 racks, not with other 3 racks. It is not considering these 3 racks at all in a select statement. Right? So how we have, see, man, take a human thing. Normally, if you have cloths, the class has been separated. Shirts we are keeping someplace, pants and bunions. So you are keeping everything separate. Tie you are separating, caps you are separating, sock, shoe. You are how we are segregating the things and separating each and every things as a separate rack or separate place. The same way, instead of keeping all the data in one rack, right? So to filter the data is very difficult, right? So if you need only credit card information, I can pick the data from credit card source instead of picking from all source, right? Even if you have the index on the transaction date column, it is not going to improve the performance. Instead of normal table, create the partition table. Create the partition table and create index on top of the partition table. So if you want to create the index on the partition table, we have 2 types of index: global index, local index. Till now, you haven't aware of this, right? Global index, local index. See, local index is nothing but, I can show these examples by tomorrow. Okay. See, now global index is nothing but, see, why we are calling as a globe. Globe, why we are local, global. What difference we have in normal words? Entire world we are calling as a global. Local in the sense India. Agree? Same, we have multiple partitions. So Jan month partition, Feb month partition, April, we have like multiple partition, month and year. If in case if you created range partition, I'm talking about. In this, we have 30 days of transactions. 30, 31, 29, 28, based on that particular month, right? In this particular range, if you haven't created index, right? You are working for only 2 days of data. Yesterday and today's transactions you have to consider in January month. Okay. If you don't have index on a partition table, you are picking 30 days of data. If you don't have index, you are looking at whole 30 days of data on Jan partition. To avoid that full table scanning mechanism, again, you separated like a 14 months, 12 months and 12 partitions. In 12 partitions, again, we have 30 days of time, right? Again, you have to avoid this full table scanning mechanism, full partition scanning. Think we won't call like that. It will go for a full table scanning mechanism. To avoid that, we'll create local index. Local index is nothing but whatever the index you are creating, it's specific to the Jan month partition. Feb month, it creates separate index for that particular month. The index going to maintain the address IDs specific to the particular partition 1, partition 2. So it maintain the local partitioning on every partition by maintaining of local. Clear? Global. Global is nothing but for all the partitions, it maintain only one index. It maintain local and global both. Clear? See, instead of where we have huge amount of data we have to store, instead of normal table, try to use partition tables. Partition table also improve the performance. Clear? Everybody clear, right? Now, so I will show you how to create partition tables and what type of partition tables we have. In tomorrow class, I can explain. Okay. And we have what other things to improve the performance. So now you learn about append hint, you learn about no logging hint, you learn about parallel, right? The parallel, while working with parallel, you have to check here. If you mention 30, you have maximum source, maximum sessions available in your Oracle, maybe like a 10 or 15. If you are using 30, if it's out of range, right? See, in Oracle server will maintain multiple CPUs in one server, right? For every CPU, we have some sessions, right? How many CPUs we have, how many cores we have, that we are not aware. So while working with the project, so while connecting of any of the time with the DBA, you have to check how many uh, how many CPUs I have server, how many sessions we have to use in a degree, right? While working with parallel degree, how much I have to keep in a degree, that's what we have to mention. If you ask them, they are going to mention. So better, so max will use 16. So don't use greater than of 16. Okay. So we have to check with the DBA, then we have to, this is also one time interview question. How you decide to, how much degree we have to keep in parallelism. So how we are going to decide that? So by checking of DBA team, we can decide we don't have any other option. That's what you have to explain to the interviewer. Clear till now? Madhu? Okay. Now, so this is one type of improvement, performance improvement. And we have, so everybody, we know CTE, common table expression. CTE, common table expression. Common table expression. So, so in the olden days, we are calling this as a with class, right? So here I'm going to mention with EMP underscore CTE, with EMP underscore CTE as, with CTE as. So select star from EMP underscore BKB or EMP. Okay. So now EMP underscore CTE. Here you are not seeing much difference. You use dip user, then you will see the differences. Okay. So here we are using in this way. So this is called like a CTE. So what is the advantage of CTE? So the name itself is having common table expression. So where you are using same table repeatedly once, more than once. So if you are using any query results, same results if you are using more than one place, right? So if you want to join self join, you will if you want to maintain this self join. So self join, why we use the self join here? So we have this EMP table. So I'm using this EMP table for fetching of employee information once, and I'm using inner join or left join EMP M. So EMP M as a manager, or simply like a manager tab. Here I'm marking as a EMP underscore tab alias name. So I mentioned bigger alias name for your understanding. Okay. So manager underscore tab on. So EMP underscore tab dot MGR equals to manager underscore tab dot employee number. Now you are going to get employee information along with the manager details. See, who is the manager of this employee? 7839. So who is 7839? King, right? So if you want to get this information, E dot star and sorry, EMP underscore tab dot star manager underscore tab data, e name as a manager name. So this is the query we are going to write. Now you are going to use a department name and location also you are looking, right? So inner join dptd on dptd on. So emp underscore tab data dpt number equals to d data dpt number. Okay, so here I'm going to mention d name LOC, right? So in case if you have any other table, so use inner join sal grade S on emp tab dot sal between S dot low sal and S dot high sal. Okay, so now I have this type of query. See here I'm using same table repeatedly. I'm not doing any data changes here. As it is, I'm using this table twice here, right? If you are running this statement, Oracle hits the same table. Oracle hits the same table twice in the database. It hits this table EMP twice here. The table access is happening twice here, right? So instead of this, simply I'm going to change the same statement. I'm going to change now here with this. So wherever we are using EMP, try to use EMP underscore CTE. EMP underscore CTE, right? So with the CTE as select statement, what table you supposed to use as a CTE that you can mention here, and you can use directly select star from that CTE name. Okay, now try to use, now to try to check this. Somewhere it is going for Cartesian product. So it is going for Cartesian join here. So I mix the join to keeping of manager table versus DEPT table. I kept the join with the EMP table only. I haven't kept like a manager's employee table versus DEPT table. For that reason, it is showing. Okay. See, here it also it is going for here, but you can use these results only once. See, it is not going to hit twice in the database. It hits only once, and you are using these results in two places. You hitted only EMP table only once in your table, only once in your query, and you are using, you are holding that results in EMP underscore CTE, and you are using this result in two places, right? So whereas in this case, you are hitting this EMP table separately twice. Clear? This is also one type of performance improvement activity. Clear? So now you learn about you learn about CTE, you learn about no logging hint, you learn about parallel hint, append hint. Don't say blindly, man. So while explaining about hints, how it is performing, I showed everything here. Clear? And while selecting the data with in, so try to use exist. Try to avoid in operator by replacing of exist. That also you have to remember. This is also one performance improvement only. Exist. So instead of going with in operator, go with exist operator. So where you are using not in operator, try to maintain with set operators. Yesterday we written some query with the minus or intersect, right? So try to maintain with set operators. So avoiding of not in. Clear? So we'll see things by tomorrow.